Okay, 6:36. I call the Tommy's Winter Building Commission meeting to order. We are at the East Windsor Town Hall in the small meeting room. Also, we are joined via Zoom. Attendance, we have 5 regular members, or actually 6, including myself. Approval of minutes, regular meeting minutes of January 27th, 2025. Anybody have any edits, corrections, anything?
Once forward.
Make a motion.
If not, I'll make a motion to approve. Well, you gotta read what it is.
Okay, whatever.
We gotta read a regular, just read regular, you gotta say it for the record, Dick, that's all.
Or me, I make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 27th, 2025.
Motion made by Dick,
Sorry.
second by Wayne. All in favor? Aye. And Heather abstention. Okay,
You missed my birthday.
moving right down to unfinished business, discussing those school projects. Anybody here for that, Joe?
Well, basically, we're working, well, the ad hoc committee, right? That's what they call themselves, ad hoc. Ad hoc committee is working closely with CSG to come up with the ed specs, and I believe that they're going to meet with the Board of Ed on Wednesday and hopefully narrow down to put the architect into the path that he needs to go down on how to design, to come up with the templates, and it's all about the ed specs. Apparently, that's what it boils down to. Ed specs, ed specs. Ed specs rule the world.
Did we get that list from Samantha?
Yes, she mailed it out on Friday. They had a meeting today. Jason, Patrick, Denise, and they were questioning the changes of the ed specs for here. So because they worked with the consultant the week before and the consultant changed everything. So I think
But whatever we need to vote on. we'll be able to-
there's a list, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, there's a list, and the ed specs are been sent out to you guys and a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, anybody else have any other questions for Joe on school projects? Okay, moving on, we're going on to B, discussion of town projects.
So, quickly, Public Works roof, we started it a month ago and then the snow came. They were actually working on it today. They were pushing what little bit of ice and snow is off to start getting that. Start working on that. They're feeling that the weather is actually gonna be cooperating the next couple weeks going forward. And then after the Public Works is done, they'll go over to the Broadbrook Fire Department. And they're gonna do a couple smaller roofs for us, dog pound and all that. As soon as they're done with that. Community center is coming along just great. Painting's all done, the coat's on, the ceiling grid started today. I spent a couple hours today with the Transfer Enterprises, which is where we buy all the furniture. And Melissa at Transfer Enterprises, we've narrowed down all the the desks and L shape here, right, left turn here, all that. That's all boiled down where we're just waiting for the quote to come from him. He's a state contractor, so there's no bidding needed if anybody's concerned about that. They're pouring in, so we eliminated the pavers in the front of the building. We're just pouring up concrete pad. Pavers are uneven, don't think they'll be safe for the seniors. And we all know about the rot conditions we were having because the building in the front was rotted out. So we pulled that siding off, discovered that the siding was only nailed, the siding was only anchored in 2 places, about 2 feet off the ground and 2 feet off the roof. So we had to put some paneling up there to give us something to, the whole front's gonna be a brick fascia. So it's a brick. It's like it's real brick, but it's like vinyl siding class. So you put it on, there's a nailer on it, and the next one covers a nailer, and so it's going floor to ceiling there. Once that's done, other than they're finishing off the awnings, the building's side, and they got a few gutters still to put on, but all the outside work on that's done. Site work is behind. But site work can't do anything because of the frost. They're pouring the pad, they poured it today. And they poured the generator pad, and then Eversource requested a pad for the gas meter. So all that stuff got poured today. Perfect day to do it. And everything's covered up with blankets, so it won't freeze tonight. We're just waiting, they have to level up the floor, but you guys saw the change orders for that in the bathrooms, because we're not going with the mosaic tile, which is a maintenance nightmare because it's so small and the grout gets with dirt. So we wanted to go with the biggest tile we could get, which is 12 by 24. The pitch was so bad in the bathrooms that they had to level up the floors. We should be seeing some credits come back on the window frosting, because originally in the plans, we were frosting all the windows that look into the meeting room, the old exterior windows. Well, the staff and Melissa feel that they would rather have them not frosted. So I want to tell you, it's like a $2,000 credit.
So you can look outside.
Right. So we're receiving a credit back on pavers, the resetting of the pavers. I want to tell you that's somewhere around $2,000 too. We'll get a small change order for the plywood. I haven't gotten it yet. It's already up. They're just moving to get it done. And they assured me it would not be a lot of money. We're talking, small amounts now, nothing big. There was a few data drops they have to add for us. Again, I told them to add them. They haven't given me the change order yet. They haven't been added yet. I think the concrete change order was part of the last batch of stuff. I don't recall. I'm sorry. To be honest with you, I forgot the meeting was tonight until I got home and. Anyways, so that stuff will be coming. There's nothing. We're within budget. Our change order, we're still within our $500,000 contingency. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to shout out numbers and not be right, but we're well within budget still. And there'll be some few small things. I don't see much more coming from the builder, to be honest with you. I mean, we'll start working on a punch list. Got to buy the kitchen furniture still. We still have to buy all the sinks, but that's all on us to save money. We just told them we would buy any of the equipment we needed. Fire suppression systems in, the fobbing system is going in, all the rough wirings in. So, we're
Plugging away.
I can't say we're coming down to the wire, but we're on a good path in the interior. I mean, where there's nothing really, doors are in, they're painted, they're leaning all up against the walls. They painted them over the weekend. Like I say, once the grid goes in, they'll put all the lights in. Then the doors will go up, the exterior doors, the new exterior doors. And then they're supposed to start the floors by the end of March. Before the end of March, they said. They were shooting to start them by February, but they were still painting. Everything's the same color down there. They still have to do, the only slab that will be left will be the sidewalk ramps going out the back of the building, but they're just straight ramps. And then they'll pour the patio on the side.
No, I meant like in the building, you had said that the bathrooms weren't level, so you had.
Well, yeah, the flooring guy's gonna blow the film and then let it dry. Yeah, the drains had to come up, so the plumber had to get involved. Yeah, they're, preliminary, they threw some numbers around, but then I asked them to because originally the DPW was gonna pour a pad on the generator, but It got cold. We don't have blankets and anything, so they had a concrete truck come in, so I just said, just go ahead and do it, and so, but nothing's finalized where it's right on the CO. I think we're up to CO 12. I think to date, we might have spent 420,000 in our, out of our $500 contingency. So we'll be spending a little more out of there. So, I mean, we're still well below the $4.7 million.
So Joy, I have a question. The number that this contract ends with, and then the 4.7, that's the buffer that we have to buy the kitchen, to buy the furniture, to do all that stuff. And I know that that doesn't come before us because it's all things that you can buy up through state contracts and stuff like that. But is that all that money can be put towards the federal funding?
Yeah, yeah, because they were fully, when they broke it, when Amy and Jason and broke it down to them, it was, everything was allocated on that.
The contract was.
Yeah, but if we don't use all the architect money, it will, you know, they're okay with it covering,
Okay,
you know.
other stuff. And then is there any kind of concern that there's any issue with the balance of the money coming? Because things are kind of going a little.
No, there were some concerns. We reached out to them the day after, and it wasn't good, but after that fact, because it was already a started project, the money was allocated where Amy's already got one pay rec to them, and we were playing catch up with them because we're up to pay rec 10 some Wednesday, and they're slow with their billing too all of a sudden, but you know, I mean, they're 3/4 way through the project, you know, so there's roughly, I think to date, we may owe them 800,000 left,
Yeah, okay,
you know,
with, including the stuff that they haven't billed us for yet.
yeah,
We still have a February bill that they'll need. to
we
do
haven't
for the
seen
painting,
February's
for
bill.
All that stuff that you just mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we'll get, but I think pay at 10 reflected, there's about an $888,000
Okay.
balance.
But we have a guarantee that we're gonna get the balance from,
Oh, we already received December's and January's from, November's and December's from the feds, yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanna make sure like that's not gonna
Yeah.
stop, because that would be a huge issue.
Right, well, the question was, do we keep going?
We're just not gonna pay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that works. We have plenty left in retainage too.
yeah, yeah, that's 888,000 on that last pay app. That was final, that included the retainage, so that's how much we owe them. So that's how I'm basically basing the budget. You know, I'm not sure, I don't wanna yell out numbers, but Amy, if I take Amy's number, subtract that number, subtract. Because you guys haven't, have you seen pay app 10?
We saw January, but we haven't seen.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
January, yeah, 10, so we're 11, we haven't even gotten yet. That's why I say that there could be a couple change orders trickle in with 11, but nothing radical. So, but if you do the math backwards, we're still in the plus. I want to tell you at least $400,000. But furniture today, kitchen appliances, IT, you know, infrastructure, all the access points, the monitors, all that. So all that will shrink down to, and landscape, because landscaping was out of there. We didn't include it because we feel we can get it done a lot cheaper than playing rate. And he told me the same thing. There was something I wanted to do, and he said, look, you can wait until we're done, or you can pay me rate plus his basically 20%. So, you know, they've been pretty easy to work with lately, you know, I think. But, you know, they obviously think we're out of money anyways, because that's what I told them.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, I told them my contingency was,
Yeah.
Always out.
Can't bleed stone.
so. I'm the son of a used car salesman, what can I say?
Does anybody else have anything for Joe?
The furniture, is that all new furniture? Or is that like refurbished?
A lot of it's refurbished, a lot of it,
It's amazing
actually-
how much savings that is.
Yeah, so
we,
Yeah.
that's what TE does, they're a refurbished company, they're huge.
We bought their old building.
Did you really? It was in Manchester, right?
They're now in Manchester. They were in East Hartford. We
Yeah.
were in their building.
That's all they
Yeah.
do is refurb, basically getting on whatever, and they go, hey, come take all the stuff.
we bought this stuff that looks like it's out of the Jetsons today. Well, we haven't bought anything yet, don't get me wrong, I've gotta wait for the price. But it's these high back, it's, Melissa wants to set up, because we have that big coffee bar we're putting in. She wants to set up an area in the big room over in the opposite corner of where the coffee bar is. For them to sit and just, socialize. And they are these big blue. They're like double chairs. They look like something out of the Jetsons. The tables go up like this but I don't know, it's, but Transfer's got a lot of stuff. They have phone booths now. Apparently they're big in corporate buildings.
We got a lot of them where I am.
Phone booths.
Yep.
Yes.
They're called, there's huddle rooms
Mhm.
and there's phone booth rooms, which are basically you and I could go in there and make a call.
Yeah,
You
they're
have enough room.
soundproof and
Yeah.
you can, I probably could use one at the DPW so Len doesn't hear me yell so much, but they're just, but we bought a lot of like conference table. A lot of the chairs that probably will be used chairs, I mean, but they look like they're brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy what a savings it is with those companies. I used to work with one out in Minnesota and it was crazy how much money you save.
Yeah,
What would you say percentage complete? We are about 75 or?
yeah. I mean, like I
Sounds like
said,
you're,
paint's on the wall.
Yeah.
By the end of the week, all the ceiling grid should be done. I mean, they must have had about 11 guys in there
I
today.
mean, when you
working
said
on-
they had the doors painted, that's.
Doors are all painted, leaning up against the wall. Yeah, all the painting is, once the doors go on the hinges, and I would imagine they'll probably hinge them up. The heat's not, we've got no heat. The new heating units aren't running yet because of the Eversource wanted a new meter socket, new pad underneath the meter. So
6
they're
years from
hoping,
now.
yeah, well, we're hoping by Friday. So they poured the pad. But yeah, I mean, we're getting down to picking furniture out.
Yeah.
Then once all that's done, then the IT stuff will take over and, we're gonna do all of it. They just wired it, so we'll have to put the punch downs in and figure out what switches we're using and then go from there, try to decide what we're doing for telephones and then monitors and how we're gonna interconnect everything, I guess, if we are, what we're doing. Cause the server's here.
Do you guys do, like work cell phones or is it all desk phones?
It's all desk phones, they're all voice over IP. So they're all internet based. Just the directors, Lennon, there's only 5 town cell phones.
I was wondering,
Yeah, we don't pay a lot.
is it pretty much on schedule for when you guys thought your grand opening would be or the original schedule? I know with all this ice and shit.
It's the site work, they've got a lot of paving to do still,
Yeah,
a lot of grading. But it's, and they gotta wait for the asphalt plants to open up.
yeah.
Because there's parking lot where the park and rec entrance is. They've got some patching in the front parking lot where the portico is. And then obviously they'll have to patch the road, but that's not gonna stop us from, in the inside.
But it sounds like the building's kind of still on schedule.
Oh, gosh, yeah, it's really looking good. I mean, every day it's not like before, it was like I'd go in there, still steel studs, still steel studs. Now every day it seems like there's one other thing done, so
When's the asphalt open up in March? Is it March? or is it-
usually mid-April. April 15th.
Can't work the site much before that.
No, not the way it's been lately.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it today. It's like
Yeah,
Joe, can we do a walkthrough before the CO or the TCO
Um,
without hard hats or do we still need to do that?
there's not a lot of overhead stuff. I mean, you know,
What's the ceilings?
Once sealed and they do an overall.
yeah, ceiling grid is in,
They gotta do inspection above grid and seal inspection, then they'll put pads in you.
Can, by next
Lights.
week, no,
Well, lights,
by
yeah.
next meeting, can we do a walkthrough before the meeting? Can we do a meeting?
Either
before
before or
that?
after,
well, you have to
theoretically.
Yeah,
have your meeting
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. And then
adjourn it
to there, yeah.
or, I mean, if before next meeting, if, you know, you desire to walk through there, I could
It's
meet
a-
you.
Well, it's up to the group. I mean.
Well, I mean,
Well, I think a lot of us would like to.
Yeah,
so
yeah, you see
if-
it too.
If somebody says, hey.
If we did it in small groups, then it wouldn't be considered a meeting.
Oh, yeah.
So individually, reach out to Joe, I guess, maybe just,
Okay,
Just
mean-
do it, you
Yeah,
know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot going on after work anymore, so. Sure, I mean, even during the day, you know, lunchtime or something, someone wanted to shoot over there.
are you there all the time?
no.
Working. Oh, yeah, there, yeah, at least once a day, if not more,
Please.
depending on what's going on.
I've been a few times, come along pretty
I'd
good.
like to do a walk.
Yeah, I would.
If anybody's gonna go.
Maybe we just do it after that.
We do have our
Actually-
monthly meeting is Wednesday. If anybody wants to come at 1 o'clock, you're more than welcome to come to that. Jimmy's come. a couple
Yeah.
times.
Next week.
They're quick though.
They're
Next
quick.
Wednesday?
Oh, day
Yes.
after tomorrow,
Yeah, this Wednesday, yeah.
10 o'clock.
No, 1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, anybody have anything else for Joe? We'll move on to new business, review and recommend architect for the strategic assessment of police department facilities to the board of selectmen. So everybody in there received the list, and I'll let, Joe take.
Nope, Len's project.
Oh, Len. No, I only have one question before you start. Number 4, number 5 are disqualified. How come? Too late. Oh. Okay. Okay.
First off, I know nothing about this project. I would like you to know that. I learned of this, I knew. On Friday morning, I was given these 3 proposals and said, could you review them, please, before Monday night?
I'm sure.
And get a few references.
Okay,
I've not seen the, I've not
Here.
seen the RFP.
I
It's the PD.
worked with the police department on the RFP. They want to do basically what the fire department did. And then,
Has everybody reviewed the 3 or? they
I have, yeah.
Reviewed the 3?
I had that.
Okay, there were 3 of us. Anyhow.
Looked like 2 were pretty close.
2 were pretty close. There was one that was, very inexpensive. And I, for some reason, do not have the email that I printed from the chief of police. I was concerned about the extremely low bidder, quite frankly.
Yeah.
37.
But believe it or not, they got a good recommendation from, they did the Windsor Locks PD,
Okay.
which is being constructed currently. And I talked to the building official over there. And he said they haven't had many issues. The plans, he had sent the plans to ICC for the review. Cause there was 127 sheets and he said he wasn't gonna do it. There weren't many plan changes even. Very few changes during construction and SK drawings. He had no complaints with them. The chief of police sent me an email, which I printed and apparently left on my desk.
Good day, huh?
At least you know where it is,
Well,
Difficult.
maybe.
I'm assuming it's on my desk. I can't swear to it.
I have 3 great granddaughters.
Information request, okay. From a police chief's perspective, inquiries into Brian Humes of Jakunsky Humes Architects LLC, I'm probably destroying that name, but whatever, have been favorable. The firm has a strong reputation for working with police departments on structural changes and new builds. Additionally, they maintain a close relationship with the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association, which speaks to their understanding of law enforcement needs in facility design. Please let me know if you need any more input. So I had reached out. If you had seen it, they had a page full of police stations that they've done in Connecticut, Massachusetts, whatever, and I'm not calling I'm not calling police chiefs and asking them. I reached out to the building official.
Mhm.
So I asked the chief to reach out to police chiefs and other,
Okay.
and I don't know that he did that, but he knows them through the Police Chiefs Association. They're somehow connected with the Police Chiefs Association, and they've done a shit ton of these.
Mhm.
So that's them. The low bidders, nothing bad to say about.
Right.
The next lowest bidder, and I did the lowest and the middle
Mhm.
one. Again, Antonozzi. I got several, people actually called me back. And they got very good reviews. From public works type people that I can associate with. East Hartford, Meriden, and Trumbull.
Mhm.
They were all police stations and, so I mean, the low two got very good references apparently, so. Whatever you all,
$30,000 is a big difference.
well,
You know what kind of money they've been charging these other police forces?
So I don't know if you guys read the big packet on these guys. But like you said, they had 4 pages of police departments they did work for, and they had multiple letter of recommendation from chiefs of police after the project was over. The other second bidder had not as many, but they were pretty reputable too.
I think it was
Very interesting.
the building official in, I think it was the building official in Zalox. I told him, I said, I'm a little concerned because they're like half.
Yeah, right.
So maybe they're thinking they're gonna get the project.
Well,
Down the
he
road.
said, hey, even if there's a few mess ups, he goes, you're half the cost. You got a little wiggle room in there.
We have no reason to say no.
No.
Pretty hard.
Has anybody worked with
Good
them?
reference.
But
Yeah.
That's why I,
you're only, you're committing to that dollar amount, so.
yeah.
I mean, they're both reputable companies, architectural firms. We've worked with, in my personal life, we worked with both of them. My only question would be just based on their scope breakout over here. In relationship to how Antonazzi's got theirs broken out. I mean, I didn't look at our RFP, so, Joe, do you have anything that you could add to that? maybe?
I haven't looked at any of that stuff.
Okay.
They asked Lynn to do it and,
Understandable.
I know that, and I think they're still presenting. Or we could ask one of them to come in, but I think they're still presenting over there. They did have a walkthrough. I don't know who attended the walkthrough, if it was one of the, I mean, 3, there were 5 people there total.
Are there any exclusions on this one? Because that one company has exclusions.
Just wondered, did they even open these or they just? haven't filed?
They're late.
Yeah, but I just wondered,
Oh,
We don't know,
you just,
Yeah, except-
didn't even open them.
we don't, we weren't part of the bid
Well,
open.
might give you an idea. If you
Oh, they
got a
didn't even
couple
open
more
them?
down around that number, then you.
Yeah.
Maybe that isn't such a bad number.
oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they were late, they can't,
Yeah.
still open it up, see what they got to
There might
say,
have, I think there might have been something.
give you an idea.
it-
If they're both up here in the top numbers, then maybe
Good point.
you gotta really read the
I
fine lines.
unfortunately did not have time to even get a copy of the RFP, and
When do we need to release this one?
they would like an opinion from you tonight. But,
Now, we can't open, we can't open the ones that were,
No, well, generally, I mean, I don't know how our thing was set up, but generally,
Yeah,
comes
when
and
it's
it's
late,
not.
You can't consider.
Yeah.
No.
can't
but just-
consider 'em, but-
But it sure be interesting to see what the
Everybody,
numbers
it'd be
were.
nice to see what those numbers were.
See if they're both higher or lower or where they
We
stand.
had nothing to do with it.
Well,
That's
on this
not
part of the
new.
game, there's really no
Well, I mean,
extra.
we had nothing.
There's really
What
no
they give
extra
us
to get.
for information, it's kind of obvious.
If this RFP, RFQ was based on what Broadbrook Fire Department just did.
Yeah.
So it's basically for them to come in, assess the building, and come up with, a general scope of work and, a preliminary drawing of, and ultimately a cost of what it would cost to do what they need to do to come up to their, I think they call it CGIS compliance, and I mean, the cells are outdated. They're, so there's a lot of stuff that, and if you've ever been in the police department, the flow is terrible. The flow is,
School.
It's a long hallway with a bunch of rooms off of it.
yeah, so, I
That's what they
mean,
was
so
designed.
it's just for them to basically gather the information and come up with basically what we're doing with this, with what we're doing with the schools.
Are they coming up with a conceptual design too?
They'll come up with a conceptual, that's part of it, and just like, did any of you, were any of you privy to the Broadbrook Fire Department one? It was very extensive, if you do, if you want to go back and watch that, I mean, just that presentation alone, what they came up with and the plan, it, for $22,000 or $25,000.
Yeah.
It was
That's what I
like,
was just gonna ask is how much.
Man, just walk by the door. That's just, yeah.
Matt, are you still busy?
I'll grab his gun, have come running, he's making a finger.
I mean, for the number and the experience, they did over 150 police departments.
Right.
This is like their wheelhouse. This is what,
Yeah, and the only thing that I would be concerned with is chances are if we went to design, development, construction docs, they would probably do it. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
where they would try to make up.
that's where, exactly.
Because they come in cheap, they
That's-
know they have to do a certain set.
gonna balance
meter.
But,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're coming in low, and that's what I was trying to tell you before, they're coming in low, and they think they're making the whole job.
I mean, it sounds like they got a ton of experience.
Yeah.
and It sounds like they would be somebody to go with just based on that, and they're the cheapest. So, I mean, chances are pretty good, you're not gonna bid it out to somebody else to do the next.
Correct.
Hello?
Well,
Hey, Chief.
how are you?
I'm not here to arrest anybody. I'm here because I was asked.
Not even Dick?
He could have got me yesterday.
I wasn't looking.
I know.
That's how you drive by, brother.
Yep, yep.
So for the record, chief of police is here.
What do you got?
Yeah.
They're
So-
just, I read your email, which I forgot on my desk, I wrote it on my
That's okay.
phone. So they were just wondering if there was anything else that. The bids.
No, so
The bid,
the five, we had, so all of these folks walked through, with the exception of H2M, all of them walked through the building, and we had a conversation with each and every one of them about the realistic issues. The two bottom ones didn't make the cut, so the top three, I don't know two of them, and the only reason I know the Humes is that the chiefs of police have an association, CPCA, in the state of Connecticut, all the chiefs. Brian Humes, for them, he got an award this last year by the chiefs, and if you saw their proposal, that organization worked on a lot of police departments. And I think that you look at the 37.5, and it looks like, wow, that's half of what the other ones are. I can't speak to either one of the other architects, and I really can't speak to Humes, except for as a chief of police, which is different than what you folks are worried about, or an architect or anything like that. The chiefs that I've spoken to in Torrington and the renovations and stuff like that, very happy with this architect firm. Don't know why the price is the way it is, but from a chief standpoint, very clear, from the chief standpoint, they're all happy with, understanding CPCA, or IACP, which is the standards for their international police standards for a building and their dispatch centers and things, what things should look like. They're very good about that.
Would they have said to you like, well, we were very happy with them, they did all this great stuff, they were cool, they did this, they did that. But they hit us with a couple change orders we didn't see coming, and
So,
Was any of that type of conversation? or-
no, so I think, at least with the new facility in Windsor Locks, I know that it's, I'm preaching to the choir. It's impossible to build something without a change order.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There were not
I
a
know it's-
lot, there were not
No,
excessive or a lot
and the
of.
building official over there said that.
Yes.
yeah,
He said that there hasn't been a lot of issues or.
yeah, I mean, if
That's
there's, that's the real big thing
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
is just the issues and.
Did they come in low here and then come in high with the end result?
Not that I'm aware of. So Torrington too, and I think, I don't have it in front of me, but I know that Chief Baldwin did a locker room or some type
Yeah,
of renovation. Again, they weren't just like total buildings, they did things that maybe our police department will need, not a total building, but like the thing, stuff like that. No complaints. I didn't do I don't know, I can't speak to what happened after the fact of a little bit. I will tell you though, all the chiefs, if they had done that, the chiefs would not have awarded him or that firm, it's the firm, with recognition that they did a lot of good work on. I think he's got a lot in there about. the
He gets 150 of them.
Yeah, so, it's sort of their niche and their thing. If they were doing that, chiefs are cheap. And like, so if they were getting beat up by going back to the boards and saying, I need more money, we would have heard about it. So, the three chiefs, that I did speak to, which Baldwin, Asanich, and, I know they had something to do with, the North Branford. But, some locker rooms and things like that, that might be tailored better towards what we're doing in our police department.
So also keep in mind that this is the preliminary. They're not the ones that doing the
Yeah.
drawing or
Right.
doing the final. They're gonna give them a conception and say, here's the deficiencies, here's where we would like to change it. And they'll give you a rough drawing.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, they'll give us a budget number and then we can go after the town to
Yeah.
either go forward and get the turnkey plans or we'll, they'll ultimately, I think we'll push them to get us a set of plans and now it's up on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then they can figure out how they're gonna fund it,
And to
but
just
Yeah,
do a
because
set
they're
of
still
plans.
capable of doing construction docks.
they can do them, but
Yeah.
then we'll have to go back out to bid because it's over $20,000.
Okay,
That's interesting.
that being said, is anybody,
Heather, what was your question about the schedule or the fee schedule?
Oh, I just
Right.
was looking at their proposal had proposed fees, but whereas Antonazzi's had, it was sectioned different, and then Antonazzi has exclusions, but they didn't. But I'll be honest, I mean, I am familiar, any of the police stations we've done at work, they've been the architect. I know it's just preliminary and it's just to see what we need in town, but I think that even though it is low, we also have, we're a small town. And we have a small building. So
For what we're
I
doing.
think
If that's their
it's
niche,
worth
they
it.
know exactly what, how
Yeah.
to go about it. They don't have a lot of learning to do.
Correct.
all right, that being said, does anybody want to make a motion for the Board of Selectmen for
Thank you.
Chikuski and Humes?
You can go.
I'll make a motion to recommend.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I'll second that.
Motion.
For 30,500, I'm assuming. 37,500, thank you.
Motion made by Heather, second by Mike. Any discussion?
I think if it's just conceptual, I mean, what we're
Yeah.
doing, I mean.
We can't lose.
And then if we have to bid it back out.
You
it's
didn't
over
find
20
anything
grand.
wrong with it.
You know, let them all bid
References
back.
are good.
You know?
Ain't crazy to recommend anything else, especially now we have thrifty.
I didn't realize that we had to bid it back out afterwards because. of the
Yeah,
dollars.
it's cleaner that way. It's just like the school stuff. It's just so much cleaner because you don't know. And I mean, it depending on the money,
Yeah,
I mean, going into the school stuff and, I mean, we're looking at 60 or $70 million for the schools. So what's gonna be left? But it'd be great if we had a project and some grant money came up or funding came up through the state police seem to, get a lot, so if we had it on the shelf and we were able to pull it out and drop it in front of the legislator and say, bam, there you go, you need a project, we can start tomorrow if you give us the money.
well, my biggest concern, and you had gone out to go after the chief's gun. Was, are they gonna come in low now and then try to high bid us
They-
later?
they
But
can't.
they can't,
They
so
can't.
that covers it, so it's almost like a no brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, moving on, financial, none. Topics from the floor. Public participation. Anybody
Anybody
online?
on it or somebody, but that's probably us, right? Participate.
Okay. Motion for adjournment?
Second.
Heather. Dave, second. Okay. Adjourned. At 7:16.
Very